Everybody coming out today. Today is the regular called meeting for June the 21st, 2023. The meeting is now called to order. Myra, would you call roll, please?
Judge Executive Robert Williams.
Here.
County Attorney Keith Marshall.
Here.
County Treasurer Mickey Spencer. Master District 1 Mark Ryder.
Here.
Master District 2 George Usley.
Yeah.
Master District 3 Mike Tackett.
Here.
And Master District 4 Ronnie Hayes.
Here.
Myra, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Bow our hearts. Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this another day. We thank you, Lord, that you've allowed us together here, Lord, today for this meeting. We ask you, Lord, to bless this court, Lord, that each and every official that is represented here today, may they always make the best decisions for the citizens of this county, Lord. We ask you to go with us through the remainder of this day, through this week, and may we never forget to give you all the praise and glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we need a motion for the approval of the minutes for the last meeting.
Motion.
Need a second?
Second. Yeah.
Yes. All right, treasurer's report. Vicki?
Per the report that the magistrates and you have in front of you, Judge, at the end of May, the checking account had $5,770,704.26, with nearly $1.2 million earmarked for special projects. On a good note, we did receive all of our reimbursement for the Bucks Branch acquisition.
Oh, okay. Just 16 months to get it.
Right, that we did receive it, so that is
Well, good.
a good thing.
Well, that's good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Do we have anything on 911? Nothing to add? Jail report. Steve?
Judge, everything's going all right. We got 165 over there. We're back up to 33 staying there. So my goal is to get back up to 40. I have to get some out, so like this one occurred. Trying to get back up there to offset some costs and places, but everything seems to be going pretty good right now.
All right.
Still battling the building, the plumbing problems and things like that. And I do have a 12.5-ton unit going out, and it has to be replaced.
Hmm.
HVAC, so just letting y'all know, that's a $5 hour. But I'll give you some quotes and estimates.
Okay.
Other than that, everything's good.
All right. Appreciate it. Solid waste.
Everything's good. We got our, dump site set up at Garth, 3. We're doing dumping on Fridays and Mondays. We took in about 20 tons over the last 3 days. We've had it open. So we encourage everybody to get out and use it.
So, and we want to be clear, folks can dump at the transfer station once a month, truck, small trailer for free. That is available on Mondays and Fridays going forward. So we're doing this part of our ordinance that we passed. We want to try to give folks an opportunity to go up there and dump for free, and let's try to get this county cleaned up as much as we can.
All they have to present to dump.
Just a valid driver's license for Floyd County. We keep up with dump one time a month.
Okay.
All right, Keith, anything for executive session?
Nothing for me unless you have something.
I do not. Next, we have citizens' comments. Myra?
Debbie Hall?
Debbie, come on up to you can come up and talk. Appreciate you coming out.
I just have a lot of concern about our 911 system, and I've been trying to ask a lot of questions about it, and at City Hall, they've been telling me that they aren't responsible, the city police aren't responsible to answer the 911 calls, which I thought the city took the contract to answer 911 calls, but they're telling me they're not, and then the sheriff's office tells me they're not, and then the KSP says that they're not responsible, so I'm just really curious who is actually responsible
Have you reached out to the police agencies to ask them why they're not what's their answers?
The sheriff's office and the Kentucky State Police have both told me that the city has the contract for the 911 service, and the officers are supposed to respond, that they have county-wide jurisdiction.
That the sheriff's department no longer answers calls. John, is that correct? Did you tell her that you all no longer answer calls in the county?
I said when we're not available, we're not available. If we don't have nobody, we can't, it does fall back on the city for a contract.
And you have to be contacted too.
Well, everyone's going through the dispatch. I mean, this isn't an issue that's just started in the last 6 months. This has been going on since I've been in office. The calls previously, and that's one of the reasons that we've moved the center to Prestonsburg, is to have access to that data. We didn't have access to that data in Pikeville at all. There's no, if there is something going on in that system, or we have an incident, and I needed information from the dispatch in Pikeville, I had to file an open records request to get that information. And we're paying them to provide that service for us. So the decision was made to move it based on the fact we needed to have that information in order to find out how we're going to address these issues. There's been deficiencies. I've been in office for nearly 5 years now. There's been deficiencies ever since I've been in office. We're trying to address those deficiencies, and I think the police response is one of the last things that right now we're going to have to find a way to address it. So that's where we're at. We've got to get it addressed. I know you're saying around the country, and you know that everyone, if there's a 911 call, they respond. That's not in Floyd County. That has not been that's not been the case.
I get that.
That's not. Now, how do we make it better? We're trying to figure that out, Dr. Hall, how to make it better. That's why we're trying to that's why we have the data. We're trying to get the data to figure out what do we do to plug these holes in our system. Because what's happening a lot of times now is from 1, 2 o'clock in the morning to 6 a.m., we don't have any police service in the county.
Well, I had a TikTok video of the city police doing donuts in the center of town at 4 a.m. back in March sometime, so.
Doctor, maybe let me answer your first question, because I think you got multiple. Your question is, who's responsible for answering the 911 calls?
Yes.
It's the city of Prestonsburg. If anybody says different, they're lying to you,
Well,
period.
they stood and lied directly to my face.
City of Prestonsburg has the contract to answer all 911 calls, every 911 call.
Well, it's not.
And their mayor stood right here in this room, not 5 feet behind where you're standing right now, and said, we will take every call outside the city of Prestonsburg limits, and we'll send you the bill, fiscal court, if you enter into this contract. And 5 minutes later, they entered into the contract. Now, that's the truth.
Debbie, I had, on March the 12th of this year, I had an issue at home at my personal house. It's 102 days later and they still ain't showed up. So it's personal to me too.
Funeral home because she was brutally murdered, and I don't have the records yet, but supposedly there was at least 1, if not 2, or maybe even 3 911 calls that went out before she was murdered. So it's too late for Amber Spradlin. She's dead. She was innocent, and it's too late for her. But let me tell you what, everybody in here has family members, and if something happens to them, it's on their backs, I'm telling you what. And it'll happen. Don't think for a minute that it won't, because it'll happen to somebody in here, and you'll be in the same situation as me and my family. And everybody I go to ask them a question, like, it's not my problem, it's not my problem, it's not our responsibility. I've said what I got to say.
Appreciate you, Dr. Hall.
David, you're right.
Anyone else?
Brandon.
Brandon?
Want to know how we can fix it? Should never have to be fixed. Should have stayed with the state police instead of playing the politics and putting it down here in the city. A girl's dead now because nobody wanted to respond to help because they'd rather do donuts.
The blood is on the 911 dispatchers, not the dispatchers. They only provided it to the police and nobody showed up. The dispatchers done their job. And I want everybody to realize we're not blaming the actual dispatcher that took the 911 call. They're not the police. They can't go help. But they passed it to somebody that let the ball drop. And the ball would have never dropped had the KSP still had the 911 system. So I hope everybody that's involved with this 911 system being in Prensburg is happy. Because the blood is on your hands that our cousin's dead.
That's exactly why I voted to keep it at the state police, sir.
I stood at that same podium and told them this would happen 6 months ago.
Anyone else, Myra?
No, sir.
All right.
It don't
This-
matter who makes the call, boys, they're all supposed to be on.
They're all supposed to be what?
They supposed to go.
Exactly.
That's right. It
Exactly.
don't matter who the dispatcher is,
And
or
the-
who calls it.
And the mayor of the city of Prestonsburg stood right here in this room. He sat in the same seat where Debbie Hall is sitting right now, I believe. And he stood up and said, we will take every call outside the Prestonsburg city limits. That's the gospel. If you
Who's
don't believe it,
involved?
I'll show you the video.
Who's in the fault?
Tell you one they missed.
Who's in the fault?
I can
Everybody
tell
hollers,
you
they. Who's in the fault? Let's put it where it's at.
City of Prestonsburg Police Department.
All right.
Because they did not contact the sheriff's department, and we got proof they did not contact the KSP. So, they ain't gonna contact nobody, get files to them to go, and they did not go. So the blood's on their hands.
I think it's
All right.
more than that. I think it's the people up the ladder. Somebody has to make that decision. Are we sending our policemen or not? And it's the people in charge. It ain't the policemen themselves.
All right, let's move on. Anyone else on citizens' comments, Myra? Thank you all for your input. I certainly appreciate it.
No, you're good.
Any old business to discuss? Nothing? All right, we have the second reading of the budget for 2023-24. Need a, we have any questions on that? Need a motion to accept?
Motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, next we have the transfers.
Hey, Judge, when it says the new business, could I bring something up?
Yes, sir.
Before we go, I should have done it on the second reading here. I'd like to address the increase the state has made on the procurement amount that we can, use in our county and adopt it. I understand it went up to 40 from 30. Last year during the flood, it seems that, early on, we had in our 23 budget, we had that flooding event and all of our contractors and stuff, they met that threshold pretty quickly. And from that point on, we've had a lot of damages and stuff that we've needed to get taken care of, and it's had to go through a very slow and fair bidding process. I know but I think that, we ought to consider bumping that up to the 40,000 that the state has approved, so we can put these contractors back to work and, get all this flooding damage and our roads fixed back up.
David, am I correct, did DLG want us to keep it at 30? It was,
Legislator passed it, you can adopt it July 1st. You can always do it next quarter.
well, it makes it easier on us.
I spoke to Frankfurt today, then I also spoke to the DOG this morning, and they said it would probably be sometime late this month, which will be preceding our new budget. So so we can get these guys back to work and get these damages cleared up and the roads fixed back up, but it'll be, school buses will be running again this fall. We just kinda got cut off. It wasn't our fault, but we abided by the law and what we could do. But I think going forward, we could get this stuff straightened up.
David, this is a regular scheduled meeting. Can we put it to a vote today? Yeah. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with it. You want to make the motion?
I'll second.
If you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to say that it would become effective July 1, because I think the state legislation that made it possible, that takes
That's correct, that's correct. It would be effective July 1. So Mark makes the motion, George seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so that's effective July the 1st. All right. Next, let's get to, we got a lot of bids to do here. Next, let's get to transfers on Resolution 1. Need a motion
Motion.
and a second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Resolution carries. Next, we have Resolution 2. This is a regular claims list.
Motion.
Got a second? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have Resolution 3. This is on the discretionary funds, the reimbursement from the state. Need a motion?
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Let's see, Resolution 4. This is a motion that we passed previously on the buyouts of the homes, but we have to change it from a single to multiple applications because each time the homes come in, it's a different application. They're doing them in batches. So rather than bring it to the meeting every time we have to do this, we just giving us authorization to go ahead and move forward on them. So need a motion on that.
Motion. Second.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Next, we have Resolution 5. This is for the CDBG grant funding. Let's see what that one is. Hold on just a
What
second.
is that now?
I'm getting to it here. This is on the CDBG grant funding for the acquisition of the properties to build the homes on. This is through a program we're going to be administering through Mountain Housing. They're going to try to do 3 locations, one on Wright Beaver, one in Prestonburg area, and one over in the Betsy Lane area.
Motion.
Made the motion, need a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right. Let's see. Next, we have the authorization for the KPDI grant. This is for, in addition to the Thunder Ridge grant, they can use the AML grant for matching funds. Need a motion on that.
Motion.
Who made it?
Mike.
And need a second. All right, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Next, we have Resolution 7. This is on the Sheriff's Department. This is on the getting of the excess fees on the check on the from the Sheriff's Department. They've given us a check.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Resolution carries. We've got some checking accounts that the auditors ask us to clean up through the audit process. So we're opening and closing some accounts. This is Resolution 8. We need a motion.
Motion. Second.
Second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Resolution carries. Next, we have, this is some voided checks that we needed to get off the books. We had to do a resolution on it. This Resolution 9, need a motion on it.
Motion.
A second, please.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Resolution carries. Next, we have Resolution 10, the Mountain Comprehensive Care Grant. This is the flow-through on Mountain Comp.
Motion.
You got a motion? Mark seconded it. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Next, we have Resolution 11. This is the hiring of the county attorney employee.
Motion.
And just so y'all know, that's not an additional employee. That's, we had one employee transfer, and that's just replacing her.
Okay. All right, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, resolution carries. Next, we have the hiring of the jail employees.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, next we have Resolution 13. This is the opening of the bids.
I gotta use the bathroom, Judge.
All right.
Stalling.
How many bids do we have on that, Browdy? Two, okay.
The first bid for Oklahoma Hollow Road is from King Creek in the amount of $33,406. Second bid is from Blue Rock. It is in the amount of $35,439.70. Lowest bid is King Creek at $33,406.
Motion accept lowest bid.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right. Resolution carries. Next, we have Resolution 14. This is on top of Abbott Mountain.
The first bid for the top of that Mountain is from King Creek in the amount of $83,573.50.
King Creek, yeah.
Repeat that, please.
$83,573.50. The second bid is from Blue Rock in the amount of $82,373.50. Lowest bid is Blue Rock.
Motion accept lowest bid.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next, we have Resolution 15.
The first bid for Lafferty Pond Road is from Duncan Construction in the amount of $5,000. Power Excavating, $40,500.
Power, P-O-W-E-R.
Power, yes. Maverick Excavation, $6,800. TNT, $7,999. Martin Lane Management, $10,500. Okay, Martin Lane Management was the last bid. The lowest bid is Power Excavation at $4,500.
Motion accept lowest bid.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, resolution carries. Next, we have number 16, is that correct?
Asphalt.
Asphalt, okay.
How many bids you got on that one?
The first bid is from Downtown Enterprise.
On these, I'm just gonna copy.
You just gonna copy me?
This is the copy, yeah.
Okay. All right, surface hot mix, class one is $136.45 per ton. Base hot mix, class one is $127.10. Binder hot mix, class one is $132.75 per ton. Pack oil per gallon is $4.75. This is on pickup at the plant. Surface hot mix, class one, $110, excuse me, 45 cents per ton. Base hot mix, class one, $102.10 per ton. Binder hot mix, class one, $106.75 per ton. Tack oil per gallon, $4.30.
So the first numbers you gave us was the in-place price.
That's in place, yeah.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
the 110
I'm sorry.
was the pickup price on that.
I'm sorry, Judge Williams.
That's fine.
And placement of materials, lane asphalt is $26 per ton. Patching asphalt is $43 per ton. Mileage of hauling per ton per mile is first mile is $3.75 plus 20 cents per mile. Minimum haul, $5. Tag oil per gallon, $2.50. Tile and paving, and this is.
Now this is, we need to do, that's the only one that put in a bid for actual asphalt. So
Asphalt,
we need
right.
to,
And lay down.
so what we need to do is actually, we're going to have two separate bids. So that's the only bid we've got. We need a motion to accept that. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay.
You know, Highland's been with us over 40-some years.
Yeah, well, they're getting ready to do the laydown on that,
It's a
on that.
separate bid, George.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One for providing the materials and one for laydown.
Who did the second?
okay.
Who's seconding the motion?
Me.
You?
So,
That was asphalt.
That was the actual asphalt, yes. Okay, now this is gonna be on the laydown.
That's on the laydown.
Highland paving, on the laydown, laying of the asphalt, $14.50 per ton. Patching asphalt, $14.50 per ton. Mileage of hauling is 20 cents per mile. Tack oil per gallon is $2.50. And under the exceptions, he's got grader, $75 per hour.
Okay. That's Highlands.
Their tap oil prices, we buy the oil, and that's for them to spray per gallon.
Okay.
So that's right.
Yeah, we buy the oil, and they spray, they charge $2.50 a gallon to use their machine, I'm sorry.
Second bid for the laydown of the asphalt is from Floyd Asphalt. Laying of the asphalt is $15.75 per ton. Patching asphalt is $16.75 per ton. And mileage is 40 cents per mile. Highlands has the lower price.
Okay.
Motion to accept lowest bid.
Second.
Need a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Resolution carries. Now, what we do is, if in the event we have the issue like we run into each and every year, that we've got more work to do than what one company can do, so we'll deal with that when we get to that. But, all right, next we have,
Need to accept both of them?
do we need to go ahead and accept both of them, Keith?
Do it.
See, the auditors years ago said that that was not the appropriate way to do that. So, but if you get to a situation where somebody can't perform the work, then you can always do the competitive bid process at that time.
Yeah, well, that's what we've, okay, all right, that'll be fine. If they're not okay, that's correct, that's
Follow
correct.
the
So
competitive bid process.
let's do that, and if they're not available, that we can use Boyd, if they're not available, okay? All right, so we got a motion,
Now, wait a minute.
The motion is for Highlands.
Highland's got the bid.
Yeah.
But if
Mountain,
they are
all
not
three.
available,
All three contractors, Highlands, Mountain, and
Oh,
three.
So Highlands received the bid, then what did you say?
if they are not available, then it will go to Floyd. No, that's not what you said?
They should do competitive bid at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Can use number four, okay. I'm just kind of.
Okay, so next we have, let me see, 17 on the cleaning supplies.
We had one bid from Floyd Janitorial doing business as King Supply, and there are a lot of individual processes.
Yeah.
You want me to read these?
No.
Just
No,
one
it's
bid.
only bid, it's the only bid we have. It's the only bid we have. Need a motion to accept?
Motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, next we have the fuel bid.
Okay, the first bid is from Childers Oil Company, and fuel, it is 10 cents below. I'm not sure what this word is.
Probably pump price. That's what they normally, let me see what they have. They normally do it based on pump prices. 10 cents below street price. That's,
Street price, okay. 10 cents below street price for fuel, 10 cents below street price for diesel. And he would also like to say that, he'd like to offer the Floyd County Fiscal Court a 10 cents per gallon rebate on gas and diesel. And they can enroll us in a fleet card.
yeah. Okay.
The second bid is from Cardinal Country Stores. Fuel, unleaded gas, 8 cents pump price, that's a discount off per gallon. Diesel, on-road diesel and off-road diesel, 10 cents pump price, that's a discount off per gallon. And he says tax exempt on DEF oil, and, they would also provide fuel parts for anyone who, requests in the office, and free replacements of parts. So the cheapest would be Cardinal Country Stores.
Motion.
Motion. Second.
Got a second? Need a, got a second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Resolution carries. And next we have Resolution 19, pipes. One bid.
Drains Unlimited is the only bid, and, there are several bids. I can read them individually, or
Nah.
Well, if it's only one we've got,
One bid. Just-
there's only one.
well, we need a motion to
Motion.
accept. Need a second? All in favor, say aye. George second. Any opposed? Resolution carries. Next, we have Resolution 20, limestone and gravel.
There is a total of 2 bids.
Who is this bid from?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I told you. Mountain Enterprises,
So who is the other vendor?
Mountain Aggregates.
Okay, so I guess what they do on the Mountain Enterprise, they'll,
That's the pickup price now.
that's the pickup price at Martin, so they're,
You very, very little.
okay, yeah. The other is the price up at Pine Mountain. Okay, so, I mean, what we've done in the past, we've accepted both. We use the Martin in the event that we have an emergency. And then the Pine Mountain, if we've got, okay, all right. So do we have anybody who wants to make a motion that we just accept both bids, like we've always have? Need a second?
Second. There we are, Madam Mayor.
Years ago, the auditor
Okay,
told
so
me
let's,
that you're not supposed to-
let's accept, let's do like we did on the bid earlier. If we can't, if we have an emergency situation or situation that we can't get to Pine Mountain Stone, then we will use the Mountain Enterprise at Martin. Okay, all right, just word it. Well, yeah. Ronnie made the motion, George second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution carries. All right, need a motion for adjournment. Thank you.
Motion.
Right, thank you all. Appreciate you.